Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Math Puzzle Crash Course. I wanted to review another simple puzzle here that helps test your skills of order of operations and helps you understand the relationship with multiplication, especially between multiplication and addition in this case. But the problem I'm referring to is one that I've run into a few places. It's 5 plus 5 times 5 plus 5 equals what? All right, so first of all, I want to review. I've done this pretty much in every video, but just wanted to quickly put this up here about the order of operations so that everybody sees it. I know a lot of people watch these videos and they're only looking for the answer to this one puzzle, and you may not be looking at the others. You may not be subscribed and seeing them. So just keep in mind this is the basic order that you go through: parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division left to right, then addition and subtraction left to right. And when you don't have something, you just move on to the next thing. Okay. Good enough for now. I'll leave that up there for you to read. But for everybody that understands here, you would first start out with your multiplication because multiplication has higher precedence. So 5 times 5 is 25, and then you would do the addition. 5 plus 25 plus 5 equals 35. Now, that's not the only way to approach this problem. That's just if you're going by the order of operations convention. You can approach it from other angles. You're still going to get the same answer if you do it correctly. If you do it incorrectly, you're going to get an answer other than 35. So another way to write the problem first is to do the multiplication first. Just move it to the front. And really, you're not violating the order of operations convention because you are going to do the multiplication first. You're just visually placing it first. That's the only thing we're doing different here. So if you put your 5 times 5 first, you're going to get 25 plus 5 plus 5 equals 35. So I like to show this method. It doesn't always ring a bell sometimes, and I get that. But I do this always because it helps to drive home the fact that multiplication is nothing more than repeated addition. It's like a shorthand. It's easier to write 5 times 5 than it is to write 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, okay, well, I don't like solving multiplication and addition together, so why don't I just take that multiplication and convert it all to addition? So that's what I've done here on this bottom line. Now I did add parentheses. Keep in mind those parentheses don't change anything. I only put them there for visual clarity. So the reason I put them there was so that you can see that the 5 times 5 has been translated over to 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 within those parentheses. So if you add up all those fives, you've got 7 5s there, right? So if you add up 7 5s, like that, you're going to get 35. So again, the reason that I showed that last method is because I wanted to drive home this point because, and real briefly, I want to say that a lot of people will memorize order of operations, according to an acronym like BODMAS or PEDMAS or PEMDAS called, or BIDMAS or BEDMAS. They're all just different acronyms that explain the identical order of operations. So um, the reason that I prefer this, looking at what I've got here, is because rather than just memorize some acronym, and in some cases people will memorize them incorrectly and think they're a 6-step checklist. I prefer to make sure people understand that multiplication is simply repeated addition. You can look at division as the same thing as multiplication, that you're multiplying by a reciprocal, basically. So yeah, we get into other stuff with fractions and things like that where there's interpretations, but the basic concept is that division is multiplying by a reciprocal. So you can think of it as being a lot like multiplication. So multiplication and division have equal precedence. When you find them in a problem, you solve them left to right. Exponents, on the other hand, you can think of them as a shorthand for writing repeated multiplication. So exponents are going to have a higher precedence. You're going to solve those first before multiplication or division. And then when you get to parentheses, some people call them brackets, they're just grouping symbols. They're nothing special other than they're telling us to resolve all the operations inside of the parentheses before you solve anything outside of the parentheses. So if you have them, great. If you don't have parentheses in your problem, it doesn't really change anything as far as whether or not you use the order of operations. You still will follow order of operations if you don't have parentheses. You just move on to look for exponents. Then you'll look for your multiplication and division. If you don't have those, you're going to move and look for your addition and subtraction. And so, really, the whole point of it is to say that the order of operations convention is not some arbitrary convention. It actually makes sense, and it's based in some really sound mathematical principles. So yeah, and last of all, I just want to mention that the Math Puzzle Crash Course is on YouTube. We do have a channel there with a lot of other puzzles, some other real basic concepts. Right now, my main focus is just on some very, very basic concepts, and we're also on Facebook as well. I try to put posts there with some updates on some of the videos that I'm having on Facebook or on YouTube, I should say. So hopefully this video has been helpful. Please like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one. Thank you.